What's up, YouTube? Eric here, Mr. Fired Up Wealth. You asked for it, you got it. You wanted a deeper dive on the metaverse. What does it even mean? Last time I did a video on Facebook, we talked about Meta, but what other stocks? We've been hearing this word. It's used over and over again. So what is the metaverse even all about? And what are some stocks, ETFs, and cryptocurrencies that could benefit from this? It looks like a secular tailwind. That's what I'm gonna do today, guys. I'm gonna give you 20 different ideas, stocks, ETFs, cryptos, everything here. You're gonna wanna see this one. Stay tuned. So what is the metaverse exactly? Well, like a lot of things, it depends on who you ask. It seems like everybody is getting on the hype train and talking about their company, talking about how they're part of the metaverse or how they have their own metaverse. And it's really interesting because if you think of companies like Roblox or you think of Minecraft, you think of those games, they're really their own metaverse. But what is the metaverse and where does the term even come from? I think that's really the problem, is everybody has their own opinion of what the metaverse really is and what the definition is. So for some history here, because I know you love history, this actually comes from a novel back in 1992, if you can believe that. 1992, Snow Crash, an author named Neal Stepheson. That's actually the person who invented the term metaverse. So in this novel, the metaverse is always capitalized. He calls it a shared imaginary place that's made available to the public over the worldwide fiber optics network. Now, keep in mind, this is from 1992. This is pretty forward-thinking stuff. In the book, it talks about projecting virtual reality through goggles. So developers can build buildings, they can build experiences, they can build worlds. Again, you go back to Roblox. That's what Roblox is all about. Of course, it's more of a kid's game, but Roblox is really where that metaverse, the first time I heard it was actually listening to, when I started doing research for Roblox and the IPO, they mentioned the word metaverse. And now it seems like everybody's getting on the bandwagon. You're going to see a lot more on this video. So listen to this, guys. Meta, formerly Facebook. So between Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO, and the colleagues in that video, there was a 90-minute video, and they used the word metaverse over 80 times in that keynote presentation. If you haven't watched it, it's actually really interesting. You can go to meta.com and go check that out. So this is where the controversy starts, because a lot of people think that Facebook, Meta, can't really be the metaverse, that basically the metaverse needs to exist without corporate influence, right? So they're kind of creating their own separate metaverse, but the true metaverse is much bigger than that. And if you listen to the keynote, Zuckerberg actually talks about how they want to enable the metaverse, that they don't want to control everything, but it opens up an entire Pandora's box, a can of worms of questions. How do you regulate it? Who controls what? It gets really messy really quickly. So let's define what the metaverse is, because that might give some clarity. So first, the first rule is shared social space with avatars to represent users. Okay, well, there's lots of things that have that now. A persistent world for the avatars to inhabit and interact with. The ability to own virtual property as you would physical property. The ability to exchange and or sell your virtual property. Now, this one's big, guys. It requires full 3D telepresence via VR, virtual reality, or AR, augmented reality glasses. Of course, Roblox does not do this. It does not have 3D experiences, at least not yet. But it really comes down to who's going to control the metaverse. Do we want somebody like Facebook or Meta controlling the metaverse, or do we want it something that's completely independent? And this is where, if you talk to people that are really passionate about cryptocurrencies, they're going to tell you that this whole thing is a joke. And so you've got a lot of bears and bulls on this whole Facebook Meta thing. Some people think it's a great idea. Some people think it's a really bad idea. The problem when you look at Neal Stephenson's book, when you think of Snow Crash, he really focuses more on open interfaces. The problem with somebody taking control, like Facebook or Meta taking control, is it kind of goes against the grain, and this is where it gets controversial. Now, Zuck, in that keynote presentation, he basically talks about how gaming is what the metaverse is all about. But you'll see on this video, there's actually more to it than gaming. I think gaming is a big part of it, but even Microsoft Teams is actually doing their avatars and making it virtual experiences so that work can be a little bit more interactive, more fun. And some people might think that's a terrible idea. Some people might think it's really cool, but that's the future, and that's what's coming at us, guys. So first, guys, let's cover Meta. And I promise you I'm going to get to a bunch of different stock ideas, and I'm going to get some cryptocurrency ideas, even an ETF to look at. So basically, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp, and Oculus equal the company Meta. So this is the keynote, and we got Zuckerberg talking about, what the metaverse is all about. I encourage you to go watch it. It's 90 minutes. It's very interesting, to say the least. But check this out real quick. So he's talking about how the metaverse really has to be gaming and experiencing it with friends. So you can essentially go into a virtual virtual environment and really do whatever you want. Like here they're playing chess virtually with a friend. It's really out there. You look at this, you're like, wow, this is really cool. They're going to spend billions and billions of dollars trying to create this. The problem is Zuckerberg says you really have to experience the metaverse to understand the metaverse. The problem is it doesn't exist. So how do you experience it when it hasn't been built yet? And there's a lot of questions that exist, like how much money are they going to have to spend? Or are people really going to be into this or not? It's a high risk thing. They're trying to pivot their company. It's probably, well, it's either going to be brilliant or it's going to be a terrible move, and time will tell. I think it makes a lot of sense. This is kind of, internet 3.0, technology 3.0. It's pushing, social to the next step, right? When you think of Facebook and you think of the different apps they own, it's really a social experience, but in a 3D environment with friends. Here he's playing, a game, he's surfing with a buddy, etc. So it's really, really interesting stuff. And like I said, there's a 90-minute video on Meta's website. I encourage you to go check that out. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting when you think of Facebook and Meta. You've known for a while they've tried to have their own cryptocurrency. They had Libra and then Diem. Now they have this thing called Novi, which is essentially a wallet, okay? And this, when I started digging into this, it kind of blew my mind, because once you put it all together, you think, well, wait a minute, I get it now. This is what Facebook's doing all along. They've been planning this stuff, guys, for a long time now. David Marcus runs up this group. Today with Facebook becoming Meta, we're unifying our payments and financial services unit and products under the Novi brand. Let me unpack what this means across Meta. So this is a whole thread on Twitter from October 28th. We've been in the business of facilitating payments for over a decade, $100 billion in the last 12 months. These experiences range from person-to-person payments in the US with Messenger, as well as using WhatsApp in Brazil and India. This is stuff maybe you don't know a lot about. I certainly didn't realize the fintech part of Facebook or Meta's business, but it makes sense. Let me keep going here. Some of these products are branded Facebook Pay, some are unbranded, and our wallet operates under the Novi brand. So over time, we'll unify all existing and future payments and financial services under the Novi brand. They're doing this, guys, for the metaverse. With this change, we're also transitioning our group name from F2, it's Facebook Financial, to Novi, okay? Our mission remains to empower everyone everywhere to access the world's financial system to accelerate financial inclusion and economic empowerment. I'm excited about the future ahead and the role that Novi will play in enabling people and businesses to move money in more and cheaper ways and innovate. This is the key part, and innovate in the metaverse for creators and consumers alike. Facebook has had this in the cards for a long time. This is why cryptocurrency has been part of their business model, why they've been pressing the issue. They want to control their own metaverse, have their own currency within the metaverse. This is really, really interesting stuff, and it makes you realize why cryptocurrencies have to be in the conversation with the metaverse. So to kind of piggyback on that, how Facebook's name change to Meta could mask its crypto ambitions. This was actually a Motley Fool article. To be clear, Meta intends to have one digital wallet that will seemingly work with all digital assets, including cryptocurrencies, within its plan to create an immersive experience online. These guys know what they're doing. This is extremely significant, but being majorly downplayed. Might all currencies be converted to Diem through the Navi wallet before purchases can be made in the metaverse? Question mark. How will politicians respond to this? Facebook already has enough drama behind it. Imagine when they start uncovering this and they start figuring it out. Will politicians even have jurisdiction over the metaverse? That's another good question, right? Because right now you think of cryptocurrencies like, well, it's decentralized finance and anti-government, all those things. But what happens if they start regulating that? And there's just a lot of questions, and it's really very interesting and it's very exciting at the same time. And it'll be interesting to see how this plays out over the next decade, really, guys. It's going to take time, but it's going to be very interesting for that story to unfold. So next, guys, I'm going to share an article from Forbes with you, and this talks about the metaverse and how cryptocurrencies will be an important part of it. Much has been written about the metaverse, and especially with Facebook, now Meta. So actively involved in the space, there is bound to be debate around how the sector will evolve. That said, the metaverse is also a tremendous opportunity for blockchain and crypto assets to move to the mainstream. Let's dive in. Towards the bottom, what is oftentimes missing from the discussions around the potential of the metaverse is how all the information will be secured and protected. If, for example, individuals are going to be spending increasing amounts of time in this virtual reality, how can they be sure that their transactions and associated information will be secure? blockchain, cryptocurrency, right? So virtual reality and engaging with virtual reality applications has been discussed quite a bit lately, but something has gone undiscussed. That's talking about the impacts of blockchain and crypto on this innovative idea. The metaverse needs crypto in order to operate as advertised, and let us take a look at just why this is. Blockchain is immutable. Blockchain and blockchain platforms have proven to this point to be unhackable and immutable, which is critically important if any virtual reality platform is to achieve mainstream adoption. This is powerful. Blockchain enables not only instantaneously confirmed information, but also enables these transactions to be cryptographically secured and protected. Blockchain and crypto assets are, in other words, a necessary and integral part of how virtual reality will be implemented. It also allows instant transactions. Building on the first point, the metaverse will require and need transactions to be completed in an on-demand basis, which is something that blockchain and crypto will enable. For a truly virtual reality environment to work and function as advertised, there will need to be transactions that occur on a secure and almost instantaneous basis. Specifically, the individuals that are a part of this ecosystem, number one, need to be able to transact and interact as easily as if they were in person, and number two, have the confidence that these transactions will be completed. Clearly, the metaverse is still an emerging and fast-growing area. But the underlying truth is that in order for it to happen, basically, you need blockchain and crypto assets, okay? I think this is really thought-provoking, and it leads me to the next part of the video, which is cryptocurrencies. I'm gonna give you 4 cryptos. Now, I talked to my buddy, Tommy Cooksey. He's the crypto guru. He does this stuff for a living. And I asked him, which cryptos would you wanna buy if you're trying to play the metaverse theme? These are just ideas for you to go explore. You need to make your own decisions and make sure you only buy something you understand. Buy at your own risk. I'm not a financial advisor. Can't tell you what to buy or sell. So with that disclaimer, the first, which is really obvious, is Ethereum. That's the first cryptocurrency, the first one that everybody thinks of. If you have not subscribed to the channel, guys, please hit the subscribe button now. Click that bell to get notifications. If this video is helpful, drop me a like and drop me a comment. I'm gonna get to a bunch of different stock ideas in a second, so please hold on and stay tuned. So the next one that Tommy told me about is this Engine, okay? So it's ENJ is the ticker, Engine, okay? It's a game builder IDE with NFT integration. Sounds interesting. Go do your own homework and check it out. The third one here, this is a pretty cool logo. I kind of like these coin logos. They're pretty cool. So this one is called Decentraland, also known as MANA, M-A-N-A, Virtual World Metaverse Real Estate. So check this one out. And the fourth one here, guys, this one's called Axie Infinity. The ticker is AXS, integrating blockchain DNA into games. And he says it's big right now with people that are playing games as their job. So go do some research on that. This is directly from Tommy in a text. And these are the 4 cryptos he would recommend taking a look at that could benefit from the metaverse. And of course, these are speculative assets, so be very, very careful. I like curveballs, and I always throw curveballs when I can. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me, hey, Eric, why has Cloudflare been on such a tear? Cloudflare, ticker net. It's been on this huge run, and people are like, well, you know, if you look at FinTwit and other places, say, well, it's because they're trying to compete more in AWS, and they're doing this and this. And this is something I want to bring to you that I haven't seen talked about really at all. And what people are missing with Cloudflare is that it actually gets tied into this whole metaverse and cryptocurrency conversation. So where does Cloudflare fit in? Wait a minute. Assessing the Ethereum network and its attendant benefits directly requires running complex software, including downloading and cryptographically verifying hundreds of gigabytes of data, which, apart from producing technical barriers to entry for users, can also exclude people with low power devices. This is directly from Cloudflare's blog. To help those users and devices access the Ethereum network, the Cloudflare Ethereum Gateway allows any device capable of accessing the web to interact with the Ethereum network in a safe and reliable way. Okay, this is getting interesting. Okay, so what does it say down here? We're excited that Cloudflare is bringing their infrastructure expertise to the Ethereum ecosystem. Infura has always believed in the importance of standardized, open APIs and compatibility between gateway providers, so we look forward to collaborating with their team to build a better distributed web. This is internet, Web 3.0 stuff. By providing a gateway to the Ethereum network, we help users make the jump from general web user to cryptocurrency native and eventually make the distributed web a fundamental part of the internet. Cloudflare is part of the future of the internet and could essentially help be part of the backbone for the metaverse. Okay, what you've been waiting for, some stock ideas. I gave you a few along the way and some cryptocurrencies. Let's just do a rapid fire and talk about some stocks that kind of fit into the metaverse. Okay, we're gonna give you a bunch of stock picks here. First one, of course, NVIDIA. And NVIDIA touches so many secular tailwinds: data centers, cloud computing, cybersecurity, space exploration. I mean, all of them are on your screen. Augmented reality, virtual reality. You know, I've been saying this for a while. Semiconductors are the new oil. And I've been saying that AMD and NVIDIA are top stocks to buy, and they've been running really hard since I've been writing on Motley Fool and doing videos. But you can see cryptocurrency on the list, metaverse, big data, artificial intelligence, pretty much anything about the future of technology, NVIDIA has their hands in. And so it actually has become the #1 stock in my portfolio. It's overcome Amazon because it's grown so much. And I'm not selling a single share. I'm holding this thing long. It's made a huge run. It certainly could pull back, but I am long NVIDIA. Just look at all these secular tailwinds they're involved with. Next, Roblox, of course. They basically are the first ones to really talk about the metaverse that I think of. Now, you can go back to Second Life, you can go back to World of Warcraft. There's all kinds of different games that really had their own unique metaverse. Roblox is interesting because it allows users to build their own experiences. They're basically games, but they call them experiences. And you think of an avatar, I mean, that's what the game's all about. And of course, the graphics aren't like out of this world spectacular, and it's not 3D. This is kind of like the entry level metaverse. It's their own little mini metaverse, and it has to be on this list. And real quick, I'll show you. So Roblox last 4 earnings. So you can see 90% year over year, September 2020, 111%, 139%, 126%. Now they just reported a couple days ago, September 2021, they had 102% year over year revenue growth based on a really hard comp, which was a 90% year over year last September a year ago. So these guys absolutely crushed it. A lot of people thought they would go away from the whole pandemic, that it would slow down, but they're firing on all cylinders, and this stock probably is going to continue to go higher. I've been following the stock since pre-IPO, and I've been in it for a while. It's also on my the new 10 is what I call it. So if you're interested in that, check out Patreon, Elite, or VIP, and you can see the new 10. It's 10 stocks that I think will be kind of the next future runners in my portfolio. Roblox is one of those. I just bought some more shares not too long ago, a few days ago, right before earnings, and of course it's made a nice pop. Up next, we've got AMD, of course, and AMD shares close up 10%. This just happened here on November 8th. So shares jumped Monday. The company announced it won Meta, formerly Facebook, as a chip customer. AMD also revealed a range of new chips, and the company's stock was up 10%. So Meta, Facebook, Meta, is going to use AMD for their data centers, their cloud data centers, for their metaverse projects. That's really exciting stuff. So Unity, of course, has to be on the list. They reported earnings last night. The stock actually has kind of been all over the place. It was down after hours, then up. This one absolutely has to be on the list. And I have plenty of videos. All these stocks on this video, I've got other videos on the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Check out the playlist. There's deep dives on all these stocks if you want more information. But Unity, this is big news that just happened yesterday. Unity is buying Peter Jackson's Weta Digital to help prepare for the metaverse. I've actually been to Weta Studios in New Zealand. It was really cool. So the VFX House's tools will make their way to Unity Engine. This is pretty cool stuff. This is the author here. So check this out. Unity Technologies is buying Weta Digital. So if you're a film buff, you know who these guys are, right? Peter Jackson co-founded it back in 1993. It's worked on movies like Fellowship of the Ring, so we think of Lord of the Rings, Avatar, Black Widow, and so on. So this is a $1.625 billion deal. Now listen to this. Unity is obtaining the company's technology division, including its artist tools and engineering talent. This is big. Unity is behind me right now as we speak. It's up 5.3% at $180 a share. Weta's technology suite includes tools for facial animation, creating virtual cityscapes and modeling, et cetera, et cetera. Listen to this. Unity Engine. Unity's plan is not only to integrate these programs into Unity Engine, but to also eventually offer them as a part of cloud-based subscription. So they want to offer these tools as a cloud-based subscription, basically like a SaaS model. This is really, really big news. The purchase will include all 275 members of the team and Weta's own internal tools, which again, at some point to be released in a subscription to users via the cloud. And this just makes it simple for developers. It talks about the use of the cloud is to presumably alleviate the need for physical hardware in smaller developers' workflows and just kind of lower the barrier of entry. That's their entire MO. This is a stock that I don't own. There's a lot of people in the community, including Discord, that do own this one. I think it was a SPAC early this year. So Matterport is a standard for 3D space capture. All-in-one platform transforms real-life spaces into immersive digital twin models. So much more than panoramic scans, Matterport empowers people to capture and connect rooms to create truly interactive 3D models of spaces. So you can see where this could be definitely tied into the whole metaverse. Okay, some rapid fire. Google, Alphabet on the list. Microsoft just came out and said they're going to do a bunch of stuff with the metaverse. Microsoft Teams enters the metaverse race with 3D avatars and immersive meetings. So what they're doing here, they're going to give you 3D avatars to push towards the metaverse environment, and you won't need to put on a VR headset to use them. So you have to go back to the beginning of the video. Well, is it really a metaverse if it's not fully virtual reality or AR? These avatars can literally represent you both in 2D and 3D meetings. You can choose to have an animated version of yourself if you're not feeling like turning your webcam on. So some people might really think it's cool, others might not, but I wanted to bring it to you. The next one, Apple, of course, Apple's got to be on the list. Take-Two Interactive. You know, you could argue that Take-Two Interactive is kind of its own metaverse itself with Grand Theft Auto, with Red Dead. They're their own immersive worlds. Again, they're not 3D experiences. They're not virtual reality experiences yet, but I have actually seen that Take-Two is partnering with Oculus to bring GTA San Andreas to the Oculus. So, I mean, they already have kind of their own little metaverses with their games, but I think they'll be part of that future environment as well. Cloudflare, we already talked about. It's got to be on the list. Fastly is also a CDN. So you think of cloud edge computing, you know, Fastly could definitely benefit from the metaverse. Amazon, you know, you think of Amazon Web Services first and foremost, their cloud services. A lot of people house their data in AWS, but Amazon's also talked about virtual marketplaces and things like that, where you can go in and experience buying in a 3D environment with a headset. Autodesk, more creator tools. I like this one as well. Coinbase, you know, Coinbase is kind of one I wasn't sure to put on here, but you think of wallets, you know, it could be a wallet that's maybe integrated into different metaverse type situations. In fact, we look at Novi. Coinbase is partnering with Novi, with Facebook's Novi, to kind of work in that digital wallet. So I think Coinbase could be a benefactor as well. Now, you just got a ton of stock picks thrown your way. And another way to play this, you know, you might even own some of these stocks already and be like, I didn't know this, you know, this company was even involved in the metaverse. You can go look at this Metaverse ETF. The ticker is Meta. It's Round Hill Investments. And they have this ETF that has a lot of these same stocks in it. And there's other ones in there as well that we didn't cover, like some of the gaming names. So it's good to at least look at that list. And it's another way you could play it. You could just buy the ETF and it has a lot of these names already in that ETF. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe now. Click the little bell to get notifications. If this video is helpful, please return the favor. Drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Maybe I missed some stocks. I appreciate you watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.